Okay, so hello peeps. I'm back with covering the new moon in the sign of Scorpio, and this is the intro. There's a couple things that I want to clarify before I start. And that is that first and foremost, you should check out the video that I did on the full moon in Taurus, leading to the opposition of Venus in Scorpio and how it's affecting your sign. And secondly, I'm doing the intro, and I suggest that you look at this intro. I've had few people comment and say that the intros is much appreciated because it helps them get an overall understanding of how these transits are playing out. And third, I'm still going to do the timestamps. However, for these particular videos, the goal is to not make each sign too long in description. So I'm going to try to cut that short. It's very hard for me to do because when I tell you that there is so much insight, or there's so much that I can add to each sign, the way that it's playing out with certain placements, it can go in so many different directions and ways. I could get caught up in doing that. Okay. So, I just want to really keep it, direct, straight to the point, and short. So let's talk about this for a second. This new moon in Scorpio. This is not just any other new moon. It's a very significant one, and it holds weight because we're speaking of the moon that, even though the moon is associated with our feelings and our unconscious state of being, our subconscious state of being, our emotions and attachments connected to the psychology of how we work. If you know anything about human behavior, a lot of times what we experience, what we feel is directly related to or connected to the way that we think. And I'm telling you right now, this is what what we're understanding in our prior process and trajectory into the new age of Aquarius. We're understanding that our emotions are connected to the way that we think, and the attachments that's associated to those emotions affect our physical reality. Okay, so this is a very big thing. And when we put it in the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio is about transformation and changes. And for us, those of us that can consciously grasp these changes that we make and being able to do it, it's not going to be an easy thing. No. However, it's needed in where we're trying to go. So right now, off top, I'm telling you, like, some of you guys are listening to me because you're listening, you like to hear me talk, or you like to hear how the transits are playing out. And then some of you guys are like, hey, yes, I do want to make these changes, but it's hard to do, so you won't. And then there's another group that's like, nope, I want to make these changes. I am aware of this because this is something that I came across through my higher self, through my spiritual tapped in frequency. And I know this, I just need some sort of confirmation, and I want to actively make these changes. And this is the thing, because by way or through Scorpio, through Pluto, it's still Mars governing this. This is through action. And, the interesting thing about Mars being governing Scorpio is that Mars is action. And people really don't understand that this is where a lot of Scorpio's power lies, in the power lies for Scorpio and the movement. A Scorpio, you will look around, and a Scorpio has made so much progress, or is making moves that are unstoppable, or they're able to get out of situations that they're stuck in. Trust me, a lot of times the Scorpio they cannot, or they have not faced, they not that they haven't faced it, but they allow the trauma, or they've allowed themselves to feel like, well, if I stick in this situation, the reward is after it, not understanding that a large part of the changes and the transformations in them even establishing or having access to even more power is them transcending, is them changing their transformation and allowing what they're experiencing to allow that transformation process to happen. They don't always succumb to that, because remember, the Piscean age, it was no matter what happens, whether we have proof or not, we stay loyal to this belief, we stay loyal to these people, we attach to that, because we needed that at the time in our human evolution, right? We needed that instead of, coming from the age of Aries, where there's conflict, where there's fighting, where there's tempers, where there's a lot of people looking out for the self to get ahead. In the age of Pisces, it's more of, okay, we've noticed that as human beings in the time that we have reached in our reality, we cannot just do that and we survive. We have to have the family, that we have to have the familiarity. We have to have the belief system to get us through the hard times, to teach us some form of morality over selfishness, however you want to put it. Although it was not the reality, it was a blanketed, because along with that came a lot of falsehoods, and it was perverted, just like everything becomes perverted. It was perverted, and there was the individuals that seen, hey, yeah, these people are just following or just believing or just attaching themselves to stuff. We are also people that, so they're scared, they're living in fear, but we are also people over here that can gain power from them not knowing and from them believing whatever they need to get by. See, it became perverted. Therefore, it allowed the narcissist and those entities, like I said, I will talk more about that on my channel, so definitely subscribe. It allowed those entities to run rampant. Okay? But getting back to Scorpio. So it was Scorpio, the sign of that energy, adapted itself to, okay, well, this is where I am, and change is going to take place on the outside of me. Okay? And there was a lot of power that was enacted from that and siphoned from that type of understanding and that belief. However, because what is it? You have power over other people. Because out of the other signs, especially the water signs, Scorpio had the ability to see what was seen and unseen, and had the understanding of how to survive through that, through using what it knew as power. And I'm not talking about specific people, even though we can look back in history and we can see how this played out through people, but I'm talking about the energy, because that's all that we are. Okay, so what does this do? It brings us to today. So what does it bring? What is it with this new energy that this new moon energy? Okay, because we already have other stuff at play. We have Uranus that has retrograded back into the sign of Taurus. This new moon in Scorpio is opposing that, but is actually acting with Uranus to make things, to shift the reality, shift the societal norms, bend things out of shape to allow that jump to, in that transformation phase, that jump from one position to another to take place right under our nose. You see what I'm saying? It's an opposition, but that opposition is allowing us to see. It's like a clear divide. It's almost operating like a movie. It's like, hey, it's a clear divide. You see, this is where you're coming from. This is where you're positioned, but this is where you're trying to get to. Okay? This is where you're trying to get to. What are you going to do? Because this over here looks unstable, or it's unstable because, especially the ones of you guys that's bringing this, whenever you're bringing something into your consciousness, your awareness, to where it's real for you, or you're manifesting it, what ends up happening is that other part, it's fluid, guys, liquid. The other part starts to break itself down in order for what you need to manifest, or what you need to happen, for it to happen. And we're getting to the point of where we're trying to do conscious manifestation. And I talked about this before. And as a result of conscious manifestation, the other part that we were manifested in via the creator, via other people's co-manifestations, the collective, okay, through collective beliefs. However, through energetic or lower frequency entities, it doesn't matter, that's telling us, hey, this is your life story, like that's maintaining, holding up the mirage. which is, it's not that where people get caught up and where they deny all of this stuff is because they're just like, well, I'm looking at the surroundings around me, I'm looking at reality around me every day, tell me that I cannot just think my way out of situations, that I cannot. And I get it, but it's and because of that, no, you're operating, a lot of people are operating using, even if you're thinking higher and you bring your vibration up, what's happening is that the lower vibrational entities that is stabilizing a lot of the energy in place is showing and reflecting through others, by way of others that believe in the way that the world is, in the construct, whatever, how you want to call it, these, constructing in these different parallels. And it's like, okay, well, this one is the one we stable in and we want you to stay here because it benefits us. Yes, though, that's being reflected, especially when we operate off of, or we feel like we're stuck to our lower vibrational needs. I'm going to be putting this on my channel. It's coming, baby. It's coming. And we get locked in by way of that. And it comes in ways that we feel, okay, well, this is my family member. I can't leave them out in the cold. This is my friend. This is my mate. It's supposed to be my soulmate. I can't do this or that. And we're giving and subjecting ourselves to this blind loyalty of love and submission to maintain an attachment, a lower vibrational attachment, or something that we remember and we're trying to hold in as it's really a memory. It's a collection of memories, because without that aspect of our brain, it doesn't exist. Okay? That's how a lot of narcissists operate, guys. This is what I want you to understand. It's an illusion that the entities project or reflect back to people. So, and I'm going to get into this because I don't want to get off, but I just kind of feel like this type of stuff is important for to gain an overall picture of why certain things are happening. All right. Okay, so the new moon in Scorpio is allowing us to consciously, because these are our emotions, and you really have to trick yourself out of your emotions. Yes, you face them, but when I say trick yourself out of your emotions, because you could be feeling, the only way, it's not really that you're tricking yourself, but you're healing yourself. It's how you start the healing process is you have to trick yourself. Because even with the interaction with other people, the narcissist is an unhealed. So even when I'm speaking, where it sounds like I'm speaking against the narcissist, I'm saying I'm speaking to the narcissist as well, because the narcissist is the unhealed aspects of ourselves that we tend to allow ourselves to become slave to, because it's the safe space for us. But we have some that are very much so buried into this exact type of existence. But what happens is we see that, okay, well, we're looking at this other individual, we're looking at these people, and we're looking at these entities as like, okay, well, you've inflicted this pain. And this pain is really bringing us to our consciousness. It's really bringing certain things to our consciousness, because you start to be like, okay, so why was I subjected to this pain? This is really, really bad. You even become the victim at some point, because that's what emotions is about. Okay. And you tell yourself, okay, and don't take the victim part away from it, because I'm telling you, especially depending on who you've been dealing with, these people, these entities seek to inflict pain onto people to break them. I'm talking about break you down mentally and everything, mentally, physically, spiritually, in every aspect of your life. They will wish harm on you, and they will hope and wish that other people inflict that pain or harm onto you, or they will try to do it themselves. So you were a victim. But what I'm saying is how you access healing is through and by way of the victim state of being, and being in that until you consciously know how to do it. Because you get to the point of where you get so good at it to where you're like, okay, that didn't affect me in the way that I thought it would, because I don't have to feel emotions about that in particular. Okay. The same reverse way that the narcissists don't feel emotions, but they don't feel emotions because they have justified through entity, it's a disorder, it's a mental disorder, but through entity, or like what's those called, possessions and entity attachment, they have been told that they do not have to experience emotions outside of themselves. Oh, well, when I was younger or when I was experiencing abuse, nobody cared about me. They didn't care about the way I felt. They didn't care that I wasn't getting taken care of. They didn't care that my needs weren't being met. I was abused. And people let it happen. Yeah, people let it happen, but not the people that they're now trying to inflict pain on. You get what I'm saying? So they, through entity, possession, and attachments, the entities make them believe, okay, well, you get a right to lock in and act out your lower vibrational self and be on lower frequencies and be good and high and mighty and confident and arrogant in that, because no one looked after you. So you don't have to look at anybody. As a matter of fact, you should make them suffer, and you have a right to. Okay? So I don't know. I'm going here for today. This is just what I've been led to, where I'm being led to go. So, so this is the thing. We are trying to take or allow this energy to show us the clear separation, but it's not a separation to say that we're separate. It's a separation to be able to divide ourselves and look at the other side of it. Usually we do this through relationships with other people. And some of us still don't get it. But now we could literally, it's this trajectory right now to where it's like you could literally divide yourself and see. It's like dividing minds, because you can't tell me that's not true. There's a left side of the brain and there's a right side of the brain. Huh? Who's coming here with me? Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Now, so let's get into this, guys. Okay, so explaining the transits. Where I'm going to touch bases with you is with this new moon in Scorpio is where, and yes, go look at the full moon, go look at the other videos that I just did for the transits to try to catch up. And, but with this new moon in Scorpio in particular, you're seeing to where you actively and you need to consciously change. You have to make the choice to say, okay, this is where the changes will take place. Boom, this is what I'm going to do. And remember, you cannot be afraid of losing things, losing people. You came in this world alone, you're going to go out alone. Huh? And if you are a person that's dealing with needing to heal yourself, you cannot be afraid of losing power, false power. All right, so let's go check into each sign. I'm going to make it rather quick. So if you want to just sit and look through each sign, you can. Just look at each sign, you can. And but if you want and you need a timestamp, go right ahead. All right, thank you. Okay, so Aries, the new moon is happening in Scorpio, and it is definitely happening in your 8th house, because that's where Scorpio sits. So massive changes when it comes to a lot of your psychology and emotions, feelings, and attachments based on the way that you see the world. Lots of changes here, because something is keeping you energetically trapped in, emotionally trapped in. There's some sort of emotions that you need to allow yourself to let escape and heal through. And this is where your transformation lies. This is where the changes lies. Okay. So what do you get in or as a result of this? You get changes in finances, marriage, and just your emotional state of being altogether. But this is something that is deep. But with these changes comes you mastering a lot of parts of yourself, really seeing things differently, and see where you have allowed yourself to be stuck or secluded in life due to some deep-seated, deep-rooted issues that you never really tapped into before. You have not allowed yourself to heal from before or just even really face. And some of these attachments come by way of your family or come by way of people that you are close to. So you will see them going through changes as well. But their changes in the process of them going through that is definitely triggering you in the process. It's not, it could seem, and this is another thing, Saturn transiting your sign as well. So this could seem like something that you cannot really escape from easily or just escape from right away. And you're going to see these changes happening via yourself, via through your emotions and your psychology, or in the changes that you need to make, or through other people that are close to you, that you have some sort of connection with, or that is significant. When we deal with the 8th house, we deal with situations that come to us on an intimate, deeper level. So, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys make the decision to say that you have to let someone kind of go and figure out life on for themselves. You don't want to really rescue them because you see that they need to let these changes happen. They need to face this. They need to face whatever they're experiencing. They have to face this. They have to face life. They have to allow themselves to go through these changes with their finances, with their emotions. But I tell you, you witnessing them experiencing this, being a part of that, it directly affects you as well, because there's something about it to where you're seeing or you're feeling that you didn't have that. Maybe you did not have the type of support that you did to allow, or somebody wasn't able to allow you to have a right to experience your emotions or experience, what that things felt like for you on an individual level, because for different reasons. So them having this opportunity to do so, it's like you feel that you helping them is, you want to see them succeed, but it's also doing something for you that's allowing you to help you release these emotions pertaining to yourself and to see things differently. It's a powerful, powerful thing. So the changes comes in your emotion, the way that you think, things that you're experiencing that you never really experienced at the forefront, that affects you on an emotional level, and changes to your finances that you want to see happen. And remember, because some of you guys could be releasing or paying some sort of debt off. We got Saturn transiting your sign. So this could see you as having to give away or release something at the same time, or pay something. Okay, so just, hey, it's not negative. I'm just telling you. But in those changes, in the process of those changes, you're going to get things. You're going to end up at the place that you need to be, that you could have never experienced if you had not went through these changes. I mean, changes in finances, changes in emotional stability, and just the way that you consciously choose your life and aspects of that. All right. Okay. So thank you, Aries. Till the next time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Okay, so hello, Taurus. For you, this new moon is Scorpio is happening in your 7th house. So many changes coming to you through other people and stuff that you've recognized. Now, so for some of you guys, maybe you gain and garner some sort of business partnership or some sort of interaction relation to somebody that helps you see what it is that you want to obtain in life, and more money, more finances through that person, like a marriage partner. This is the thing where the caveat it could be is, you can see and you can identify the changes that you need to make in your financial state of being, and how you can save money or do better business, what it is that you're investing in. A lot of times people don't understand that our emotions and our feelings are directly tied to our finances. And a lot of times Taurus could be closed off emotionally. Not that Tauruses don't feel emotions, but Taurus could be like really stubborn or hard to move in nature. And when Taurus does what works, until you realize that what works doesn't work the same anymore, or it's not working for you anymore. And then changes have to be made. So this could come by way of a partner, because maybe you're investing in something to maintain some sort of life or lifestyle or business partnership, or whatever that you see is stagnant. Now, everybody can't work with their spouse. Some people, they could work with the person that they are with. Other people cannot. Sometimes people have different trajectories in their partner, different values even. So you have to determine, okay, so where can I leave this off? And where is it just good to not even fight this fight? Because me and this person have different moral understandings of the way that we see relationships and we see life. And you have to come down to the decision of, okay, so can we still move on? Can me and this partner and these people still move on and better ourselves and, solve these situations? Or is it best that we don't? Does our journey stop here? Or if that's not where you're at, this could be, okay, so how could we make this work for both of us? The finances, the business. This is even parenting, okay? Because in the 8th house, we see what's holding these marriages together. Parenting, money, finances, emotions, dedication. So it's like, okay, so are we going to stick through this through thick and thin? Or do we need to let go? And sometimes you realize that what saves a marriage or relationships is when you can say, okay, well, look, you can do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. But I don't have to allow myself to be buried or subjected to what you allow yourself to, what you want to do. Fine. Okay. So that's where you start making a way out, Taurus, where you have to do something, get yourself out of a certain situation so you can secure something else. Because you don't want yourself to be sitting here attached to the sinking ship of your partner by way of marriage, by way of co-parenting, whatever the case may be. All right. So you're making changes in how you do relationships and you interact with other people because their decisions. Now, granted, if you're being Taurus, that's kind of stubborn or fixated in an area in your partnership or the people that you are coming across are showing you ways to release that. That could be helpful to some of you guys. Especially with Uranus being here, however it's playing out. And then some of you guys you see to where, I can't, even if we're going to continue to be inside of some relationship with each other, it may not be in the way that we originally thought, or it may not be, I might have to let you go. I might have to still secure myself. And that comes by way of, we heard this before. You get married, yes, have your joint bank account, but have your separate bank accounts. And sometimes you got to be willing to let people go in order to make these necessary changes. And, then you determine how each other fits in each other's lives and how that's going to play out. Because right now, by way of your interactions with these people, you're showing or you're seeing where you have accrued debt or where you have, maybe there's things that you feel that you could have done another way, than the way that you've done them. And we're not going to sit here and harp on what happened in the past. And coulda, woulda, shoulda. Now is with what you're being faced with now, Scorpio. I'm Taurus. Where is your so-called moral standing? Where is you denying your feelings and you being cut off from that or limiting yourself in that area and not acknowledging them, just having you not advance financially, intimately? Because there are some things that you could definitely tap into that may seem like it goes against your positioning and where you've always stood at looking at things. And let me tell you something. It's possibly going to be the best decision that you've made. Yeah. All right. So thank you, Taurus. All right. Next we have a Gemini. And Gemini, you have a new moon that's happening inside of your 6th house of work. So this is the thing. There's changes that's being made at work or something that you have been working at or the way that you work at it. All right. Then these changes that you make is going to tap into finance, currency, more money, and then solving debt. Okay, so a lot of the money that you make, it can seem like it's tied up into stuff that you have to pay off, the things that you have to do. So you got to determine what you should let go of, what you may not want to let go of, how you may work things differently. Okay, because if it's not working for you health wise, because some of you guys could be seeing major changes in your health, and then your body, like focusing on that, the way that you handle routines, the way that you handle responsibility. You might have to look at this differently, and this could mean that you have to mature. It may really look at you maturing. And like when we mature, the things that was trivial, the things that we used to find importance in, and we used to take up, and we used to occupy our time with, it does not look the same for us. You really see to where you have to make changes because something is just not working for you. Some sort of job may end, but there's something else there, because this could give some of you guys a time to go in business or to amp up your business, but you might have to make changes about the way that you're working your business, and with the way that you feel about yourself, in terms of the way that you feel about money. Okay, because there's some things that you see now. Uranus is going back and is retranslating your 12th house again. So there's things that this is saying, okay, I've seen this before. So what I know, what I've seen before, and what I know now, I can easily go back and step into those shoes, and it could call for you to put yourself first and what you value first, and go. It can feel isolated. It could feel isolating, because it could be like, okay, every time I turn around, I'm working. Yeah, but you're working for something better. You're working for. Some of you guys might want to work for yourself, okay? But no matter where you go and where you turn at this point, it's going to cause the changes that you want to see. You have to work for those changes that you want to see. You have to be physical. You have to be present. You have to have some sort of routine. It's not saying to work yourself into a negative or a bad situation. But what it is saying is that put forth that effort to what you want to manifest. You've seen what that looks like. Now, what are you going to do in order to get it? Because that's the transformation. So some of you guys might be actually seeing gains from this transformation process, that to where the new moon is hitting your 6th house, and you're consciously choosing to say, okay, so this is what's not working. What do I need to do to make things happen that I want to make happen? And it's definitely maturing. It's definitely realizing these things. It's definitely being present right now in order to make these changes, right? Because Virgo, the house of physical form. So some of it is maybe some of you guys, you're being a little bit frugal with your money. Or you're saying, okay, if I'm going to spend this amount of money, this is the amount that I want to save, or this is the amount I want to use to pay off something that I need to pay off. So yes, we're making these changes when it comes to or we're seeing these changes, and we consciously have to make these changes when it comes to work, how we work at what it is that we want to achieve, and handling our responsibilities. So there's a certain maturity that steps into play here. And if it's real, and not saying that you can't ever have fun, but Gemini, come on. Like if it's taking your energy, you have to let it go for the new things. So some of y'all might receive more money. All right. And that's what you're working towards. All right. Thank you, Gemini, for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Cancer. Okay. So hello, Cancer. We're having a new moon that is going to be taking place inside of your 5th house. Yes, of you. So this is the thing. Some of y'all looking kind of sexy. Okay, but with this new moon that's coming to your 5th house, yes, you could be being the transformation on yourself that you have done and that you will continue to do is just astronomical. Some of you guys will be unnoticeable. Some of you guys can make money off of some sort of talent or skill that you have, or people want to see it. Okay, because if you're a Cancer that is watching and you've commented on some of my videos, especially the last one that tried to give me some insight on what to do as far as approaching the videos in my content, that's one way of doing it. Listen, as a matter of fact, maybe I know you could be listening to me again. Maybe I looked at it and you know what? I received it because I know I get it. I'm a Gemini. You know, I have Mercury in Gemini. My approach is to bring a lot of truth to people, reality to people, in the way that they can really look at it, take it in, and see it for what it is. To just be like, okay, well, this is what's going on. Let me take this in and make these changes. However, I feel like that doesn't mean I can't incorporate in what is being said. But how do you know that you are the person? You're not the person that's supposed to bring that approach. That's all I'm saying. And the first step is the fact that you was able to express yourself. So, Cancers, you don't understand. We need that. We need Cancers being uniquely them. Why? And making changes in this area, because, see, this is the thing. For some Cancers, the issue could have been the way that maybe you approach the world, like you approach yourself, how you seen things by way of your emotions and the way that you were connected to other people through that. But when you really go towards your individual self and what that looks like and how that shapes you in your individual world, you have to disconnect yourself from these people. And not that you don't love them anymore, even and that you don't have their back, but just the fact that you're not them and they're not you. And you're not really a unit. The only way that you become that unit is if that's what you do. But even though let's say you are a family unit. Family units could look different ways. They could become different things. They could take different forms depending on the individuals that's in it. But you can't allow that to make you feel that, there's something that you've done wrong and that you have to hold on to or pay the price for that. So because of these realizations that you have going on, you seem, and what you're being required to do is spot that part about yourself, spot those individual parts about yourself that makes you though, to where you can have fun, to where you can let go and vibe and be yourself. You're not worried about doing things based off the way other people feel and babysitting their feelings and their emotions, and even just having to be in a place where you have to emotionally support them. Where it's, okay, well, guess what? If I'm doing this, and that as the Cancer individual, then I might make these people feel a certain type of way and they feel like they can't trust me or whatever. I have to take on even Cancers with children. Because a lot of times parents feel the need to come to the safety or the needs of the kids, even when they're grown, to the point of, well, if my kid isn't doing what they're supposed to in life, then it's my fault. Okay, sometimes that's true. However, not every single time, because each person, each individual becomes their individual selves. And where it could have been a source of pain for you, you're just understanding how to let go more into yourself though. And what could come up for you is, so like some of you guys could start like a clothing line, start and get involved in a skill that actually brings you money or that brings you peace in some type of way that helps you get to know yourself even more. You're able to take risks that you would not have taken before. And this is so much, changes that really puts the power that you could have felt like you lost at one point in time back into your hands. And I'm glad to see it. All right. Thank you, Cancers, for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be back. Okay, so here we go with Leo. And Leo, you have a new moon in Scorpio in your 4th house. So this is your 4th house of how you feel, your security, family that you have to let go of, or you're going to be decided. Well, not that you have to let go of, that starts for you, that you really want to see how you can invest in. It's something that's, you always been about family. You always have been about security. However, from the way some things left off, you're now looking at the way that happens for you differently. So your approach is differently. And you're just looking at, okay, so if I want a new home, what do I do to get it? If I want to maintain or keep my family intact, what do I need to do that? You see? And you're making changes, but you realize that those changes start with you. Nobody else And it could just be changes to your family dynamic that you're having to accept for different reasons. We have changes of people's family dynamic when it comes to their kids all graduating and they're becoming empty nesters. We have that when we see that we might be living in a lifestyle that's over the top or beyond what we're capable of delivering, or that helps us live comfortably. We see that when we are being too comfortable sometimes and trying to feel we're being fearful and we need to face our fears, and we're being asked to face our fears. And a lot of this for you is like emotional. It's facing these emotional feels where you feel like, okay, well, if I do break free, and if I do try this, and if I do this over here and I gotta let go, then what does that look like? That's scary, because what if it doesn't work? Well, some things, Leo, is outside or beyond our control. And I think that what you're realizing this more than ever. So changes may come to you that you had to make concerning your career or concerning something you had to let go of your public image. It's affecting your security, right? And it's affecting where you really want to be. And it's affecting because maybe your work or something that you're working at is taking time from your family. Maybe people you've seen as your family, they're not really. Maybe you are feeling insecure when it comes to change, or insecure when it comes to you just operating without the control, without having that control there. So you're trying to control things, trying to control the way that you feel. All of that looks great, or it did at once upon a time. It worked for you, but now it's not, because people are seeing through it. You're seeing through it yourself. So that's all that matters. Remember what I told you guys, that what does it matter? Who cares? Who really cares when it boils down to it? If it's something that you need to let go of, release it. You're really battling, or we, because it's not just you, we are really battling our own egos when we don't. Because what we all notice is that at some point in time, we end up getting better. We end up getting more. We end up being fine and perfectly okay. New family developments, because there's a possibility that some of you guys extend on your family, get married or something. Look towards that. Work towards that. And most importantly, a lot of y'all want to be making more money. You feel like dang, I could be doing more. A lot of y'all could be doing more, but you're too fixated on some program that you have in place. Something that's, you feel like, okay, well, it's here. I'm here. I can't change it now. Bullshit. Okay, Leo, so you definitely have new moons, new consciousness, conscious choosing, seeking out real security, seeing how you feel, making and earning money and finances towards that. Being serious in this area, because playing these games with yourself, with others, you're just losing this, you're just losing what you want. You know, it's just like gambling it. You know? Because you're going to have the people that support you. And maybe it's not a football team of people. Maybe it's not the public that you need for right now. Maybe it's not. But at the same time, it's saying, okay, so whatever this is, this next new set of experiences that you consciously choose is going to get you there, because this is going to be something that personally benefits you. How does it personally benefit you, connect to how you feel in the reality of that? Because let me tell you something, our money and our finances is directly connected to the way that we feel about ourselves. Even we can gain it and lose it. Okay. Some of this is you actually paying off debt too. Okay. Paying off debt, selling a home, getting into real estate. Okay. All right. So, okay. Thank you, Leo. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, because you know I'll be back. Okay. So here we are with the sign of Virgo, and the new moon is happening in your third house of communication and the way that you think, your immediate environment. So there is something that you are in, like it has been happening, that you have been fearful or afraid. It could be something that you have some insight on and you know that you want to happen, but you're sticking too close to your immediate environment and just the routine and that just the ins and outs and the workings of that in your little world, that world that you're in. Changes will be made there. Because for some of you guys, maybe you have to get outside of, this could come by way of you moving or relocating or thinking differently. There's something that you have to get outside of what's familiar to you and making changes there. So your norm is about to be a new norm, if you know what I mean. To where there's money to be made, to where there are intimate bonds that can come up, to where debt could be resolved, to where your own psychology and emotional state of being could be brought to the forefront. I mean, and it could come off very emotional. And this is the thing. It's not about you sitting here thinking your way out of something. No, this is just allowing yourself to feel, right? And I'm going to tell you, some of you guys need to, if you have been trying to decide whether you should go pursue that, become a therapist, become a psychologist, a behaviorist, whatever it is that you're trying to do, some of you guys could definitely help other people overcome their misfortunes or make changes that they need. Some of you guys might need to go. You need to be more vocal. Only you know what I think about, who I think about right now? Beyonce. And I think about Beyonce because, and you know, Beyonce has a Scorpio moon, but you know, let's just go here with me for just a second. Beyonce is someone that we wanted to hear more from. She has stuck herself to this little community of her norm of, I'm going to sing, I'm going to entertain for you guys, and that's it. That's what I'm known for. But along the way, people that support her has wanted to see her be, like, to want to know more about her life. Look, even with her twins, they experience, you know, hear tell. See? And this is not me saying she needs to jump to the defense and clear the air on every little thing, every little rumor that gets made about her and her family. That's not what I'm saying. But let's just say, if she was more vocal, it could help a lot of people. It could shed some light. Like, okay, yeah, well, you know what? In good ways. Well, this is, and I mean, like, come from that approach in business too. Like, I seen her just drop this line of merch. That's her taking the idea. That's a change, because she's trying to find new ways to make money, and that could be what some of you guys are doing. But however, I do feel like people will want to see her, will possibly even subscribe to buying or purchasing the merch more, if they could have and understand some sort of connection, make some sort of connection and understand where she's coming from. Okay, but she thinks it's just good enough that she's Beyonce, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. Oh, people want to hear. Well, are the twins having some sort of experiencing some sort of mental disorders, or even if you don't want to call them disorders, just what are they experiencing? Oh, wow, she's normal just like the rest of us. People, and we see that she has the ability to do it. That's why she's been so popular for so long, because people are like, in her music, she's able to convey, I've been hurt, I've been cheated on, I like to have fun, I want to be adored and, you know, in love. You see, we see that, and that's why she made connections with people in her music and through her music. She's a freaking Virgo. But now it's time for her to take change, to shift, to, you know, bring that a little bit more, make these changes to where you see that changes need to occur because something is running out. Something about the way that's normally things that you do is running out. You need to make these changes. So she can shift over and be like, okay, well, you know what? Post videos, have little live chats with her fans, you know, just say, hey, you know, yeah, this is what I'm going through, or this is what my child has been diagnosed with, or maybe there was no diagnosis. This is just a quirky personality. You know, this is how you can handle it, and helping other people see that it's okay. Because this is another thing that I'm going to start talking about more on my channel, the world of autism and other mental disorders and behavioral disorders that children are being born with a lot these days, especially autism. And parents feeling that, or they don't understand that these children is helping them come change their viewpoint as well. I know I work in these situations and in these environments as well. And 9 times out of 10, the parent is looking for some sort of help or assistance as well. Trust me. Because it changes the way that they see things and the way that they view the world and the way that they've always viewed it. That's why I don't see it as necessarily a negative all around. If that makes any sense. Okay? So. And sometimes they just need the understanding that, okay, I didn't necessarily do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not going to be guilty or play victim, because what ends up happening is it ends up limiting their children or that child. So you have to look at ways that we can learn from each other and expand. So there's changes in this, and there's changes in the thought process and in the way that you normally would do things is coming up. All right. So thank you, Virgo. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be back. All right, Libra, there's a new moon in the sign of Scorpio. Let me get things situated here. That's taking place inside of your second house. So yes, you're really looking at ways, or you're consciously looking at ways to where you have possibly defeated yourself or did not rise up to your true value, even though you have it. We know that you do, right? So, and this is the thing. You might see yourself changes in your material world. So you might seek to, gain or garner new possessions, because it pay off debt, buy yourself something, purchase yourself something, especially in the physical world, a home, a house, an apartment, a car, saving up money, paying off debt, some sort of merchandise that you're looking at. But this is the most important thing, the biggest thing of all. A way that you have carried yourself and you've seen yourself is going to change, or is what this is calling for. Okay. So a lot of you guys may be looking out for yourself more in what this means for you. Listen, so many times, and like I said before, like certain things sound cliche, certain things sound repetitive, and that, it's superficial. It's like, oh, well, everybody is saying it. But and I looked at things that way until I had to make these understandings for myself. And I realized, like, no, the way that we see ourselves and the way that we feel about ourselves can make or break our financial situation, and not just physical currency all the time. This is what I had to understand. Sometimes the universe provides in ways to where your needs get met when you didn't really see a way as well. It's equivalent to finances, and sometimes outweighs it in importance. Because sometimes it may come that we need a friend, or we need someone's shoulder to cry on or lean on and where money can't buy that for us. And I really do feel that you're looking for genuine interactions, people that value you for you. And this is the thing, Libra, you cannot get that if you're not willing to show people what that is. Okay, but definitely changes in your finances. Some of you guys not satisfied with what you're making because you're like, okay, yeah, this is good, but I need more. Or you need to come back to the power, like your sense of power. And this is you saying, well, what do I need to do to work towards more, and doing those things? But it starts with value, self-value. And everybody should not have access to you in your time and your energy, because you have seen that you lose when you put yourself, your possessions, which you worked hard for, in the hands of other people that don't mean shit to you. And maybe they meant shit to you, but you ain't mean shit to them. Let's just keep it a stat. Because when they see you, they see what they can gain. They see how you can help them. And this is just for real. And it comes with you deciding this and moving towards it. That's all you need. Yeah. So, like I said, new possessions, new gains, new ways that you value yourself. Maybe you're gifted something, or maybe you might gift yourself something because you just feel like you worked really hard. However, there may be something that comes up that changes your life, and you see what you can gain. Like, you see your value now that you didn't see it. You're seeing it now in a way that you didn't see it before, and you do not plan on going without. But you got to consciously make these changes. And I think that you're one of the signs that will. All right. Thank you, Libra, for joining me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be back. Scorpio, we got a new moon in the sign of you. So happening for you. Venus is already here. So you have a new moon. Venus is already here in your sign. So this is making money, looking beautiful. Just doing things that better yourself, better relationships, better partnerships, or changing those. Because sometimes, I know I can use my daughter as an excuse so she doesn't care. Like, my daughter had came to me a few times before saying, okay, well, in my friendships with people, I feel like I'm not her. I'm being unheard. They don't listen to me or whatever. And I help my daughter, because, she's lucky to have a parent like me, get down to the root of it. And we're going to operate personality wise what we're locked into. However, as much as I could help her, I feel that her versus other Scorpios that I came, and she's more flexible than other Scorpios that I came in touch with. And I love that, because her reaction time to things could change to where she could be being stubborn and fixated and seeking revenge. She actually takes stuff in and she comes back. She comes back with a new approach, or open approach, and I admire that. So with that being said, I told her, I was like, you know what? Maybe they're not really hearing you when you communicate. They're not hearing what you're saying. And some people, instead of keep asking you, now I'm nosy MFer, because me being a Gemini, somebody tell me something, I could be zoomed out. But if it's something that I want to hear, zoomed out. But if I want to hear it, and I'm like, wait a minute, what did she just say? I'm gonna be like, wait, what did you just say? Huh? What? No, you said this. What did this mean? Everybody ain't gonna do that. Everybody ain't gonna do that. And I mean, some of that could get on Scorpio nerves, that Gemini could be that type of way. But then when they see us pulling off stuff that they like, wait a minute, how did you do that? Because we're willing to speak up in situations and talk and communicate and ask questions where y'all are not. I try to explain that to my daughter. So I told her, I'm like, listen, this is the thing. Okay? Maybe they're not hearing you. Because when I'm communicating with her, I do not hear certain stuff that she's saying. She talks fast and low. And God forbid you be in a public place, she's really going to be talking low. Like, she don't like even ordering stuff, y'all. I swear to you. She does not like ordering stuff on the intercom. Like when you go through the drive-thru. She'll let my doggone Taurus niece do it, or somebody else. She gets frustrated because, and I told her, I'm like, dude, raise your voice. She wants to run away. And I'm like, no, you cannot run away from a challenge that you feel that you don't want to come out your comfort zone for. It limits you. You could do this. But I told her, I'm like, I think that they're not hearing you. And so far, and she's like, you know what, Mom? I think that's true. I think that you're right. And so far, she has really been taking that into consideration. And it's not that they not listening to you necessarily, boo. They don't hear you. And they're not going to be the type that's like, wait, what'd you say? What'd you say? They'll just talk over you or act like you didn't say anything, because they do not know what the hell you said. Okay? So making money, guys, making money through bettering yourself. Like finding where you have your weaknesses lie, or where you feel like you could do better. Revaluing yourself, rebranding yourself, and then bringing that to the forefront. People want to hear it. People want to see it. Like, y'all, Scorpio spend too much time being unlikable. When people want to like you, you can be like, well, I don't care. I know that you say that you don't care. But no, like, we don't need that at this time. And I'm not saying to say stuff that people like you for, but no, people really want to work with you. People look, I know different Scorpios that I know, okay, that I have spoke on before, that's on the internet world, in the internet, that is like very talented, funny. They are good in some sort of art that they know. Whatever they know, they freaking know. That's what I like about a Scorpio as a Gemini. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna give us the credit that we need, that we need to have, but we could give them the credit. It's like, I'd be like, dang, and I could spot it. I'm like, you are really freaking funny, but at the same time, you do things that go below the belt, because you're feeling hurt, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna hit people below the belt. It's like, you don't gotta do that every single time. You get what I'm saying? Or fear and holding back, or like, oh my gosh, what if I do this, and this, and people take control of me, or people try to use it against me? It's like, no, they're not. Because whenever we come from a conscious place of being, which is, this is what this new moon in Scorpio is saying. Like, the Scorpio consciously saying, all right, maybe I should talk a little bit, like heighten my voice a little bit, because maybe they didn't hear me, or maybe I should repeat myself. And I witnessed my daughter do that before. We were all in the car one day, and my daughter said something, and it seems like everybody kept talking over her. But she goes, hey, I said, did y'all hear me? I said, and she said it again, and everybody answered her. Listen, y'all know I got to give these real life stories so that people can understand where I'm coming from. What I'm saying is that people know, or y'all hide y'all's real self, or hide certain things from people. And I know, I'm telling you where that came from. A Scorpio told me, a genius Scorpio, by the way. That's a friend that was a dear friend of mine. I've learned so much off of Scorpios, and this one, he is practically a freaking lawyer without even going to law school. No more than lawyers. Okay. So freaking smart. And he told me, he said that he believes in a past life, or Scorpio's past life, they off themselves and they live in fear, or they were doing something to where people was like thinking they were so great, and they made a mistake that put them in a position where people didn't trust them, or where they didn't trust themselves in this life. And they could have caused them to take themselves out, or just like throw that away, not wanting that. Like, I don't want the accolades. I don't want to do, no, I'm good where I'm at. Instead of me going about what it is that I know, I'm going to stay in my comfort zone, and I'm going to follow what has already been done, where I feel like I'm safe at, because of a past life experience. And I was like, you know what? As a Scorpio, and some of you guys might know this because it could be somewhere in your bloodline or your DNA. You know how when we tap into ourselves and we allow ourselves to have access to greater knowledge and understanding, that stuff comes to us naturally. Nobody has to tell us. And I'm like, because you are a Scorpio and you know this, because you're a Scorpio this lifetime, this is something that's embedded in your unconscious or subconscious. And so more of you guys might understand this too. But I was like, God, you might be right. So with this new moon in Scorpio, consciously work with other people, consciously assess your value and want to do better. Adapt some sort of moral standing for yourself and moral compass for yourself. And you're going to make connections with other people. You're going to make money with other people. You're going to put yourself in a position where you can make more money or better your relationships. And you're being seen as very attractive right now. And I'm rooting for y'all. All right. So thank you, Scorpio. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be back. Hello, Sagittarius. So the new moon in Scorpio for you is happening in none other than your 12th house. And this is the thing. Yeah. I get it. You're tired. You are tired of, things coming up that and finding out that you didn't know about. You feel like you're coming, people like things coming up out of nowhere to where you're just like, it's forcing you to have to make changes. It's forcing you to take things on and deal with a lot of baggage. You feel like you're dealing with the aftermath, or you're dealing with the baggage of other people, or they could be feeling like they're dealing with your baggage, because this is the 12th house. But this is the thing. I feel like with you, has people been trying to see you fail? It depends. Y'all could feel that way. You could feel that where you thought people were playing on your side, or you thought things were being one way, then you're finding out that it's not. You could be feeling like you're being stabbed in the back, or people just are actively choosing to not understand where you're coming from. And I feel like this is something that you guys have been withholding for a while. But I do feel like you're about to do something that's going to surprise some other people. Now, back to where you feel like maybe people are working against you, or maybe they're using you for something because they feel like you're going to know what you're doing. You're going to do the job right. You're going to be the person that's dependable. You're possibly about to make yourself the undependable person. Like, where you could be complacent, or you usually are the type of person to where you're just like, okay, I'm about to work with the team. I'm about to be a team player. You're feeling like you're not about to be a team player. You're gonna leave some people to literally deal with stuff that they've accumulated for themselves, their own baggage. As a matter of fact, you're being advised to. And you're going to push towards what is expansive for you. Because I kind of feel like for a while, for the past how long? For the past 7 to 8 years, you have been feeling that, you know, you've been dealing with unpredictable situations in work and health and people, responsibilities, trying to navigate your way, trying to find out what that is, trying to see what works for you. And every time you did, it was something that really showed you that, okay, well, maybe this is not it. I can't be comfortable here. As a matter of fact, it's like over time you learn to deal with it. And what happened was Uranus started transiting your 7th house of other people, to where, you know, you started seeing to where other people are working against you, or to where you could form partnerships, or you could put yourself in alignment with people that could actually help you, or that could actually look out for you. All that good things to stabilize what it is that you felt like you were working at. Even if it was something small as somebody helping you carry out your responsibilities, where you got to take the kids to work, or you have to take the kids to school. It depends on if you got kids old enough to work or whatever, or there was some other significant responsibilities that you had to happen, or to handle, but you had other things to do. Then you seem to where, okay, well, I might have to have these other people jump in and help with me, help stabilizing that. Uranus moving back into your 6th house is showing you to where, no, you really gotta shake some things up. You got to do some things differently. You got to take this responsibility in your own hands, and you have to navigate the unpredictableness and just handle it, and just do it, and just utilize things for what they are. So you make plans, but if it doesn't go that way, all you know is you come back, hey, handle this over here, but come back to the plans that you originally made. Okay? Things might shake up. Things might look like it's getting crazy at work, or this could be like, whatever comes in can show you to where it's like, man, these changes are taking place outside of what I wanted to happen. But at the same time, it's showing you to where you're going to free yourself, or to where you could really bring in more finances as well. Now, this is something, because guys, this is something that you might keep secret, or you might keep to yourself. This is the thing. You might be keeping it to yourself, that you're being emotionally affected by something. Maybe something dealing with your health, or maybe something dealing with the way that you're working at things, or the way that life is hitting you right now. You could be keeping it to yourself about the way that you're feeling, the way that how you're being affected by this stuff. And this is the thing. A lot of this is you guys having to consciously choose to face whatever it is, to see it for what it is, to face it. And the things that's outside of your control is showing you that maybe you need to let go of the control of it all, because it's limiting you. I know a few Sagittariuses, and one in particular that I work with, and this is how I can speak on this too. That's a Sag sun though, but in particular that I work with, that has expressed, like, you know what, I don't think this is it for me. Like, I really feel like next, the next 8 months, I'm going to be looking for something else. Like, I'm preparing for that. Like, they're going to see you really not going, because I'm not happy here. I'm feeling like more and more I don't want to be here. And I see this. And the thing about it is, this person could definitely make the moves that they need to. They have the credentials. They have the criteria to do so. And then I look and I'm just like, well, yeah. But we know that you could be doing something different, but you're holding yourself back here, affecting your money. I told you guys, I know another Sagittarius that has proposed they go and they do a doctorate degree because they made it through their master's, and then they tell themselves or say, well, never mind, because I am getting up there in age. And it's like, okay, once again, We know that you go have the criteria, you were able to do it, but you're now then once again telling yourself you're getting up there in age. Is that your excuse? Because you may live to be like another 60 years. Okay, another 40 years. I mean, I'm just saying. People are retiring later. And this don't even have to be, it could be a business. It could be just something that you want to do in life, period. It could be maybe you're single and you never got married before and you want to see yourself get married. Maybe you've been locked into a marriage and you feel like it's been stifling you. You want to see yourself be out without this marriage, and what can you do independently? Maybe you could stay married, but you're just like, okay, well then what can I do independently that I want to pursue that means something to me? Maybe you want to have children. I don't know. You can adopt children. You could start a foster home. I'm just saying. You can start some sort of organization for them from scratch. But whatever it is, you find it by way of your own personal healing journey. Facing the fears in this area. Yeah, you don't facing the fears of the unknown. Maybe you never tried it before. Maybe in your family it's something that hasn't been tried before. Maybe people just accepted the way that things were. But it's time for you to break free some type of way. So you don't know the trajectory of what it's going to look like. But it's there. And you got to challenge yourself. And this is changes that's coming to your whole unconscious state of being. And the thing about it is that others are going to see this. Like, they already see this in you. That's the thing. Are they working against you, or can they work against you? Yeah. Is a little bit of jealousy there? Yeah. It could be, because it could be from both sides. It could be from your side, being like looking at other people and seeing that they took the risk, or they're in a place at your age to where you feel like you should have been, or something that you wanted. But it doesn't mean that you can't have it. And it's crazy because other people are looking at you like, man, you know what? Sagittarius was smart not bringing a bunch of kids into the world that she couldn't take care of. Or look at how free he is. Look at how wise he is. Oh, he didn't settle for just anybody. People looking at you with the same envious or green eyes. And that's when you got to realize that it don't matter what other people are doing or where they at. Where are you at? And whoa, it's a lot that you're breaking free from, and the type of changes that you're going to see financially. So somebody might come, you might help somebody so much that they might come or want to invest in something that you're doing, or to help you start something, because they're going to see it. They're going to be like, you know what, Sagittarius, I see something in you. Like, have you ever thought about doing A, B, or C, or D? Like, I see this in you. Like, I can help you do it. All right. Okay, Sagittarius, thank you so much for joining me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because you know I will be back. Okay, so Capricorn, you have a new moon happening into your 11th house. So, wow. Capricorn, new associates, new affiliates, actually going after something that you want in life, that you really, really desire. You could be doing it. You could be becoming popular too all of a sudden. You could be becoming really popular wherever these new affiliations are. You might find some new friends. You might meet somebody new or different, or you might start doing something or acting some type of way that people never seen you act. Even if it's you mean your confidence in this area, and you deciding that you want to create something different, I'm really hearing confidence in this area, something that you're doing different that is going to make you popular amongst your friend group or popular online. You just can't be afraid to do it. It could be a talking point or something that is different than the norm, or something that you're presenting or representing that's different than the norm that people want to see. Okay? I told y'all about this crush that I have on this young Capricorn. that is very attractive, and he just dances, y'all. It ain't just him, because there could be some humanitarian thing that you do too, or joining with friends. It's like him and affiliates. He danced by himself, but he danced with other people as well, and it looks good doing it. So you guys, something that you're doing or you could be doing that's changing the lives of others, and I'm gonna tell you, because y'all can't tell me, like, when sometimes I could be having a very hard day, and I'll go just lay down and look at my phone, and I'll come across him dancing, or even other people, and it's like what they're dancing to, or whatever, or like the smile that they put on their face, or even when they come and they try to look all sexy and seductive. It's something that lightens my mood to where I'm like, wow, you know what? And I laugh, and I'm like, man, I could get up and I can make new choices tomorrow, or I could face my fears, or I could just face the world. I'm here still. That type of stuff touches people's lives. Every little bit counts. But you know, it's funny because, like, my daughter, as a Capricorn rising and a Capricorn moon, I be trying to tell her this all the time. Okay, so really look into this, because whatever this is, it could definitely be bringing could be bringing finances to you, or people investing into you as well. So, and definitely you facing your fears and investing into yourself. So here we go with new relationships, new reconciliations, working through and breaking free from strongholds, and doing something that you always desired to do or have happen. Like, it could be like a wish of yours coming true. All right. So thank you, Capricorn. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be back. Okay. So Aquarius, here we go. And we have Scorpio, a new moon in Scorpio happening in your 10th house. So you guys could definitely be seeing a lot of changes in like your career, the developments of that. And this is the thing, because some of you guys can accept these changes and try to take them on, or some of you guys is going to allow these changes that you're experiencing to push you to the next level and to actually get you to look at something that you really want to be doing. Okay, so this could be a lot of you guys doing something publicly, or something that you tried to hide, or that you were just coming to the forefront, coming to the public, coming to being seen. And this could be good for some of you guys that's trying to make money or some sort of income on your public image, or something that you're trying to do or you're trying to build. You could be making some sort of income on that, or this is the thing, you could be facing your fears in this area, right? So something that you really want to do could definitely be something that you're starting up, and it's going to change your life, because it's going to be changing the way that you're being seen, or change how you're making your money. Things that you could be investing in long term is where you should put your focus at. Okay, that's where you should be putting your focus at. Like I said, definitely gains, monetary gains. You gotta make these changes in your career, and the way that you look at money and finances, and the way that you accumulate that. You have to make these changes. Without making these changes, it's going to be hard for you to see your development and to release yourself in new things and bringing this money and finances in. And what does that look like? Ask yourself this question, and I'm going to get off of you. Okay. Because this is personal to some of you guys. It's personally affecting you and your security, and what you want for your family, what you want to obtain. You have to ask yourself the question of, what are you trying to build? What do you want to build? What is the purpose? What are you doing it for? And do it. It's going to require your commitment. The main thing that a lot of you guys run from. So it's time to stick your heels in and just face this all. And can you handle it? Yeah, you can. More finances. Healing and shedding attachments the way that you felt about yourself. I will continue to say this. I will say this and I will say this again. And no offense to you guys, because you know I'm going to keep it real and you know I'm going to keep it straight. And it ain't nobody looking at this between me and you can look at this in the privacy of your own home, like I be telling Leos. But, and you know, I was told by Cancer, like, you know what, maybe you shouldn't focus on like a lot of stuff that might seem negative. But I'm like, no. Is it negative or is it just the truth? It's two different things. Negative would be me saying, oh, Aquarius, you can't make it. You're not gonna make it through this. You can't never do anything right. You know, see, no. The truth is giving somebody the truth and then telling them what they can do and how they can do it. That's the truth. And what I've said and I have noticed, okay, I tell you guys, whatever I tell y'all to do, I've already done, or I've had to do it in my life. That's how I could tell other people to do it. And what I've noticed, okay, is that the sign of Aquarius, as smart as Aquarius can be, let me tell you something. In the people that has tried to help me the most in life, or either I could just go and I could be like, hey, I could just call them up and be like, hey, like I need to talk to you, or I need help on something, or that's tried to help me, or that's tried to make it easier for me in life. Even at my very job that I have now, that I can go and I could be like, dang, I could depend on this person, is and are Aquariuses. That don't mean that I talk to them every day. They may not show up the same every day, but when I go to them, they're there some way or some freaking how. And that's how I know that Aquariuses have the potential to be excellent partners. They can be, but they are able to see through, like, disassociate their emotions from what their job is or what they have to do, their care for you. That's how I know. And let me tell you, I noticed that a lot of Aquariuses lack confidence in themselves. And if they present confidence, it's like a fake sense of confidence. It's almost like, oh, how did I get that? Or a lot of Aquariuses devalue themselves. And in return, they show up like that in their relationships because of the fear of not being good enough or to dodge certain levels of commitment. It's almost like, oh, and depending on what they face, I usually see typically Aquariuses that face some sort of different type of childhood, or either by way of their parents or just by way of their lifestyle, where they're from. Let's go take Blueface, because we see the type of his little shenanigans he got going on. Okay. However, there are certain things that he says here and there I'm just like, dang, that's pretty smart that he noticed that. And that, you know what I mean? Like, he's got a brain, but at the same time, whatever, you know, we're not going to get on that because there's different things that's involved here. You know, however, his mom told this story the other day that I was looking at, the little thing, that's how it's playing out. His mom said, you know what? She was disputing somebody that was saying that he was crying because he had to go to jail and whatever. And it's like, you know what? He didn't cry. He didn't cry because he had to go to jail. Well, maybe he didn't show her, but still. She was like, no, he don't cry. She was like, the last time I remember him crying, he was like 7 or 8 years old. And she was like, and he cried. After that, he started disassociating. She said, and I know he does not cry because he disassociates himself from his emotions. Pretty genius. You know, when you can, you know, a lot of times to not be attached to this world and just things that go on that could get to other people that don't get to Aquarius, because you have to adapt to the unpredictable nature of other people. Even when they don't want to, even when it's not themselves, it's the world, it's people, it's associations, it's whatever. Okay. However, she said that he disassociated himself from his emotions a long time ago, when he used to experience things that he would get emotional about that he could not solve or fix. It was out of his control. And she said, one of those things was, she was like, listen to him when he tells you, he tells people that the most memorable times that he had in life was when he was younger, and his dad used to come over and stay. And she was like, and I used to allow the dad to come over and stay with them, and we would all kind of like be together. He said that was one of his most funnest memories that he could have, over him getting things, over him, owning possessions, all of that. He said that his family being there in a stable whole peace, for however longer it was that was his best times that he remembered. And she said that he started disassociating himself emotionally because of the dad. He never would know when his mom and dad broke up. He never would know when his dad would show up. And he wanted the relationship with his dad so much. But there was times his dad would say he would come and didn't come. And it hurt him. So to not experience that pain, he disconnected his emotions from his dad showing up or not showing up. But what I'm saying this for is that a lot of Aquariuses experiences certain things in their life to where it hurt them to have to experience that or to not get that thing. And so they disassociate themselves. The unpredictable nature. Because when it comes to the air signs, a lot of air signs are emotional, including the Geminis, including the Libras. But their makeup and the trajectory of their world and how they navigate themselves in the world made it to where they had to operate from a disconnected emotional state of being, and it affects them. So what am I saying? Bring this back to Aquarius. A lot of Aquariuses settle for stuff or deny themselves stuff or become fearful of things that they feel that they don't know if they have control over, or they cannot make be what it needs to be for them. It may not be forever. Therefore, I'm not, they act in the unpredictable manner. They're like, I don't want to be committable, because did I say committable? I'm not committing. I'm going to be for everybody and to keep myself safe. I can't depend on these people. Well, whatever I make, I can just tear apart. I want this, but I don't know. Because if I invest too much, devaluing themselves in the process. Because the only thing they get from going through person after person after person, or allowing themselves to be subjected to that or open to that, they don't really get to know people. They don't, you know what I mean? It starts becoming abusive to themselves. It's impossible to really get to know these people. And then it's like the more they're lending out their energy, instead of bringing that back into something that they want to see grow, that they want to have. Their whole thing is, okay, so how can I position myself to make sure these people are good and get what they need? Therefore, maybe in return, I have what I need. No, yes, but no, that doesn't benefit who you're becoming today. It doesn't. And you're going to see that life is becoming to be so unpredictable, even for you, that you can't go on that way. And then you have to ask yourself the question of, okay, so what am I trying to build? What do I want out of that? And how do I show up to represent that regardless? Because that's where my value lies. All right. Aquarius, thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be back. Okay, so Pisces, you have a new moon in the sign of Scorpio that's playing out inside of your 9th house of new experiences, travel, culture. So some of you guys, this is the thing. So you could be trying to, where you typically stay with what's familiar to you and how you typically do things, keeping that steady and stable. Because in a world filled with different emotions, difficult emotions, it's just best that whatever you're thinking, whatever you want to bring in, whatever you value, you want to keep it close to your chest. You want to stick with that. You want to stick it out no matter what. You're deciding, or you're finding out that's not what's working for you right about now. It does not work for you. You going towards and facing your fears towards these new experiences. Maybe you want to travel. Travel's coming up for you. The opportunity to do that. Maybe you want to come outside of what's familiar for you, because what's familiar for you is limiting you at this point. and you want to do something different, boom, you have access to that. Travel, new experiences. Some of you guys, maybe who you thought you were going to be with ain't that, because maybe this person is more accomplished. Maybe this person is more mature than what you usually deal with and what you typically deal with. Maybe this person has more experience. Maybe this person is a mentor. Maybe that's something that you could become and you could work towards. Okay. Pushing yourself further than what you are. Or maybe this person is of a different age group or different culture. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you move somewhere where you learn that, where you're able to learn that new language and you're able to meet other people in new associations, have new experiences. Maybe you decide, you know what? I want to go finish college. I want to go finish school. I want to get my certificate in preaching or ministry. Whatever the case may be, you want to maybe mentor others or work with other people on some level to help them become better. Whatever the case may be, that new moon in Scorpio is telling you to face your fears and don't let your experiences and your past experiences shape or define you or limit you. The only thing that they did was it taught you. And some of you guys, you had to have that lesson after lesson after lesson because it was fearful for you to let some part of your life go that you needed to let go of. But baby, you're free. And the things that you tried to control was only controlling you and stopping you. Now you're deciding to let that go. Even feelings that you've harbored. Even the attachments that you made through those feelings that you harbored. It's time to let it all go. And it's fearful, and it's scary, and it's something different, and it's something new. But there's money to be made. There's businesses to partake in. There's new experiences to have. And you know what, Pisces? I'm here for it. All right. Thank you, Pisces. Like the video, subscribe to the channel because you know I'll be back.